हेलो एवरीवन। गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड इवनिंग ऑल। कैसे हैं सब लोग? मेरा नाम है अरविंद
Hello everyone, Saurabh here.
और हम हैं हैदराबाद बॉयज। और आज हम बात करेंगे द बिग फाइनल,
The
द
game.
टॉप टू टीम्स ऑफ दिस टूर्नामेंट, द बेस्ट टू टीम्स ऑफ दिस टूर्नामेंट हैंड्स डाउन। Most exciting finals, I would think. I hope it will be exciting finals between the hosts, India, and the most successful cricket team in the World Cups, Australia. तो सौरभ, शुरू करते हैं। लेट्स स्टार्ट विद, मैं सोच रहा था कि वी कैन टॉक अबाउट फर्स्ट अबाउट हाउ दे केम टू द फाइनल, व्हाट वाज their road, what was the journey,
Yeah.
and then we'll talk a little bit about the squad, how was their history head to head, and what do you think they should do, toss, pitch, players to watch, and all of that. So if you like this video, and if you're enjoying our content, please hit that like button, please subscribe to our channel, and please share it with your friends and family, and then let's get started with this. um, तो मुझे लगा कि पहले सबसे पहले वी कैन start with their how both of the teams um, came to the you know came to this finals.
Finals.
So let's start first with India. I think that's probably the best one because India was also the number one team in the World Cup. Played 9, won 9. I mean, it's in the bottom order, so नीचे से देखना पड़ेगा आपको. The first game they won was with Australia, 6 wickets. Then they beat Afghanistan by 8 wickets. And then the big game, the arch rivals, beat Pakistan, 7 wickets. Bangladesh, 7 wickets. Then they beat New Zealand, 4 wickets. I think if you look at it, 4 wickets looks closer than what it is. But really, that's probably the closest game they had. Then they smashed England by 100 runs.
Where they
They
scored 230.
destroyed,
That's a big margin.
humiliated. Sorry?
Where England scored 230 runs. So that's a big margin. I mean, considering the number of runs India scored,
Correct. They
230 and they
scored
defeated
230
England by
runs and then they still lost by 100 runs.
yeah.
They destroyed, humiliated. I mean, all the extreme words you can say. Sri Lanka, 302 runs. They humiliated South Africa, who ended up eventually in semi-finals, by 243 runs. And then they actually bet New Zealand by 160 runs. Closely, New Zealand did better than Sri Lanka and South Africa, considering, with the
Then you mean
margin.
Netherlands.
Sorry, not yeah, Netherlands. Sorry, Netherlands by 160 runs. Netherlands did much better. 250 मारा उन्होंने. And then semi-final में, as no surprises, India bet New Zealand by 70 runs. India scored first, 397. Virat Kohli became entered the world record. Record books by scoring his 50th century in front of the guy he passed, Sachin Tendulkar, at Sachin Tendulkar's home ground. And Shreyas Iyer scored one of the fastest centuries by an Indian in a World Cup, 100 of 60 odd balls. New Zealand tried their best, actually. बहुत अच्छा खेल रहे थे बीच में, लग रहा था कि they were giving a chance. 397 हमेशा लग रहा था कि प्रॉब्लम होगा.
It's gonna be tough.
Um,
Yeah.
it was always going to be tough, but they gave a shot at it, and they never gave up. But once Shami started taking wickets, Shami just wrapped it up. Best bowling figures by an Indian in a World Cup: 7 for 57. New Zealand got lost. Eventually, हार गए. Margin 70 looks big, but I think in the context of the things, New Zealand actually scored almost 320 runs odd. Which I think is the highest score I think someone scored against India. So, बहुत ही dominating, amazing performance भी बोल सकते हैं. They've taken down all opposition. Every opposition side करके रखा है. बहुत बुरी तरह से हराया है सबको. Deservedly reached finals and probably will start as favorites.
I would say Arvind ki they have bulldozed their way to finals. Actually,
Actually,
I mean, लोग 2003 और 2007 से कंपैरिजन कर रहे हैं and the Australian squad, लेकिन 2007 is the closest because 2003 में ऑस्ट्रेलिया के थोड़े गेम्स क्लोज रहे थे. Close as in
Right,
they at least had to struggle a little bit.
right.
Um, so I mean this has been a terrific performance by India. मैं शायद इतना I mean I knew India was favorites.
No,
I mean
we
from
all
Asia
we all
Cup and
said India would be in the finals. वही हमने बताया था ना प्रीव्यू में, जब वर्ल्ड कप प्रीव्यू कर रहे थे कि India has to reach finals. That's the minimum goal they have, and they've achieved the minimum goal they have. We think they would end up there, and they actually did it.
yeah, I think मेरे लिए आई ओपनिंग, हालांकि काफी लेट बोल सकते हैं, was the way they handled South Africa. I think South Africa by far at least till that time was the one
Correct.
of the best batting sides, right?
Yeah, they were
और
scoring 300 plus runs, और वो सबको bulldoze कर रहे थे. They are probably having their best World Cup until that point of time.
yeah, और रोहित शर्मा की बैटिंग. I mean we can talk about what are the factors, लेकिन the way रोहित शर्मा, कोहली, बुमराह, शामी, यार 5 मैचों में 23 विकेट्स. It's unheard of. It's unheard of. I mean, you're talking of legends like Glenn McGrath and Murali Dharans and Shane
They
Mohans
have
who
not
have,
done it.
come, come and gone by. I mean, I know for a matter of fact, Glenn McGrath kind of, stands above and beyond as far as the number of wickets that he has taken in the World Cup. Lekin the kind of impact that Shami, at least in terms of, number of wickets that he has taken in the 3 editions, he has to be one of the best performers in the World Cup.
Absolutely. I
So,
mean, he'll go down as one of the greatest World Cup
I was
performers.
So I wasn't expecting, India to bulldoze their way to World Cup. I was at least expecting, यार मतलब हम लोग सोचते ही रह गए कि भाई वो कौन सा गेम आएगा where they'll have to struggle. We are just kind of nitpicking. Just imagine, Arvind, we are nitpicking कि वो 4 wicket वाली win
That's probably
against
the
New Zealand,
closest game they had. I mean, the 70
and it
run was
was not
also not
close,
close. And it was not
and it was
close,
not
actually.
close. It was not close. I think न्यूजीलैंड का बस एक टाइम था. If you can just, I think in न्यूजीलैंड के दोनों games, you can say New Zealand was the only team which kind of competed well with India. क्योंकि
Give
न्यूजीलैंड had
some
chances
sort
and
of, हाँ,
न्यूजीलैंड had chances. क्योंकि
semi-final में
फर्स्ट
एक
गेम में
आधा घंटा they pressured India, and I think India was under pressure for the first time in entire World Cup for
प्रेशर
probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes. जैसे
20
ही
minutes.
Kane Williamson out हो गए and was again back. Shami coming again.
Yeah,
Shami was
yeah.
the guy, right? एक ओवर में 2 विकेट निकाला and kind of ended the whole pressure out there. Um,
But
you
it's
remind,
a
don't you think this reminds of Australia in 2003, and more importantly, Australia in 2007?
It's 2007. I think it's 2007. मैं 2003 इसलिए नहीं बोलूंगा कि 2003 में थोड़े गेम्स ऑस्ट्रेलिया को. I remember श्रीलंका का गेम which I think was semi-finals. Games against Pakistan where they were struggling, लेकिन again they went on to score 300. इंग्लैंड का गेम, ऑस्ट्रेलिया इंग्लैंड का गेम where Craig White and I remember थोड़े बॉलर्स
I
ने,
think Andy
माइकल
Mitchell ने I think 7 wickets
मिकेल ने
लिए थे उस गेम में. Yeah.
7 विकेट्स लिए थे. न्यूजीलैंड का गेम where Shane Bond ripped them up front, 5 विकेटें ली थी. But again, I mean, you always had the confidence that Australia is going to, just win somehow. Lekin it wasn't as dominating as what it is
I
right
think,
now.
yeah, I think the only other parallel is 2007 Australia. But I
Yeah,
think this is
2007,
even, but I think this is even better than that because the margins here are even higher.
maybe. Yeah,
When
maybe.
when you think is all the teams now play in India as part of IPL, तो वो अब conditions सबको पता हैं. If not all, the superstars of each team know about that. South Africa हो या श्रीलंका हो या New Zealand हो,
Australia.
Pakistan still इस thing पाकिस्तान के लिए subcontinent है, Australia हो. Despite all that, they have destroyed all of them.
Hmm.
So, I mean, they are. I think this is. I mean, you have to give credit to India here. This is probably the best ever India performance in a World Cup by an Indian team. I mean, sure they won in 2011, but ऐसा नहीं था वो 2011 में.
Yeah.
1983 we knew it was India came out of nowhere, हार रहे थे, and then the Tunbridge Well 175 happened and then it turned around. Even in 2015 and 2019 World Cup, India lost 1 or 2 games. And then obviously they choked in semifinals both the time. So that was a whole thing. Can they cross the semifinal hurdle? That's so, and this thing, or और ये हम विल एंड इट द इंडिया जर्नी हियर. इनिशियली हमने जब वर्ल्ड कप देख रहे थे कि आपने वो देखो, फर्स्ट 5 गेम्स, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, अफगानिस्तान, पाकिस्तान, बांग्लादेश और न्यूजीलैंड, दे ऑल वन चेजिंग. 5 विकेट्स पे
Hmm.
चेजिंग, तो वो लग रहा था कि यार इंडिया चेज ही कर रहा है, इंडिया फर्स्ट बैटिंग करके कैन दे डिफेंड इट. लुक एट द नेक्स्ट 4, 100 runs, 300 runs, 240 runs, 160 runs and 70 runs. सो वो एक बैलेंस बना रखा है कि वी कैन चेस एनीथिंग एंड वी
Yeah,
कैन डिफेंड एनीथिंग.
yeah.
आई मीन, credit where credit has to be given. Rohit Sharma and Dravid, amazing work. I mean, amazing. There is words don't express. Superlatives are, less for this. Considering 3 months back before India or West Indies tour में हार रहा था.
True,
Switch.
true. I mean, at the end of semifinals, मैं यही बोलूंगा कि, and we can end this, the India
Yeah,
road to final segment with this. India deserves to win the final.
yeah. India
जैसे
deserves to win
हम
the
लोग
final.
जैसे मैं बोलता हूँ 2019, बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि न्यूजीलैंड जीतना चाहिए था. मेरा मेरा हर वक्त रहता है कि इंग्लैंड kind of deserved to win 2019 World Cup because they changed, the way the shorter format game had to be played, have to be played since 2016 or 2017 or 2015, 2016. तो मुझे लग रहा था कि न्यूजीलैंड, इंग्लैंड वर द डिजर्व्ड विनर्स ऑफ 2019. लेकिन इस वर्ल्ड कप में द वे इंडिया हैज प्लेड,
Yeah,
they deserve it. Australia
they
can
deserve it.
surprise.
Absolutely. Australia win will
They
be an
deserve it.
upset.
Actually, yes.
Australia win will be an upset. लोगों को याद होना चाहिए, Australia is a successful World Cup team.
With
They
good
winning,
players.
they with good players, with legends, some superstars. They winning will be considered as an upset, as a shock. ये words हम for
Yeah.
a
So,
top team को use नहीं करते हैं. That is how India has played. India will start as favorites, and India absolutely deserves this World Cup win. And they just now need to go and perform at the final time. One
sure,
more
sure,
final time,
sure.
and then go with that. Let's talk Australia. I think we always knew कि हमें लगा था कि Australia will be in the top 4. It was in our predictions as well कि वो top 4 पे होंगे. अब वहां से वो पता नहीं था कि who will they meet in the top 4. Depends on India, depends on, I mean, I looked at England. मैं तो साउथ अफ्रीका बोल ही नहीं रहा था. मेरे में तो इंग्लैंड और पाकिस्तान थे, because पाकिस्तान could be anything, and I think we had New Zealand as well as one of the players. So ऑस्ट्रेलिया की जर्नी started like India in 2003. They lost the first 2 games here. They lost against India badly. 200 runs का target दिया, and 6 wickets loss, despite taking all the first 3 wickets of Hazelwood, picking out all the 3 Indian openers, single digit पे India थे. Probably the only time India actually had a trouble, that first 110-5 overs in the entire tournament. Come to think of it, that spell of Hazelwood and Stark in that first innings in Chennai, second innings in Chennai. Then Australia had a shocker. They lost against South Africa by 134 runs. If you remember right, सौरभ, हम मीम्स भी देख रहे थे कि वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया और वो अफगानिस्तान के बाजू में था.
Afghanistan, yeah, right,
They
right.
were at number 9,
True.
just above Afghanistan. England I think was still in 5th or 6th. श्रीलंका था, अफगानिस्तान था और नेदरलैंड्स था. तो वो मीम्स भी चल रहे थे कि क्या हम वो नो दैट विजय रास स्लीपिंग की कहाँ हम आ गए यार, हम
Yeah,
किन के
yeah,
साथ
yeah.
सो
I
रहे हैं.
remember.
This was the state of Afghanistan, sorry, Australia.
Australia.
And then starts the turnaround. We all knew कि Australia was always this team where they don't give up. That's probably their mentality, that they will never give up. They are always, the most competitive bunch of players in the cricket, in the cricketing world. जो turnaround करा है, they bet Sri Lanka by 5 wickets. They bet Pakistan. I think this Sri Lanka win was also not very convincing. The turnaround really happened with that Pakistan game in Bangalore, where Marsh and Warner got the
Mm,
pairings right. And
true.
then they smashed Netherlands by 300 runs. But then they had close games, a very, very close game with New Zealand. 5 runs after scoring 388. And then we're looking, Australia is now in a good spot to qualify. They bet England by 33 runs. More or less ho gaya tha. The England was never going to trouble them, but there. And then the match of the tournament, in my opinion, this was the greatest match of the tournament. 91 for 7, possibly looking to lose. Afghanistan having their eyes in the history.
Yeah.
Glenn Maxwell comes and changes the history there. 200 runs, double century by Australian. They won by 3 wickets. And they brushed away Bangladesh by 8 wickets. And then semi-finals. The 99 वाला feel आया, 212 मार के मुझे तो वही याद आ रहा था.
Almost same score, huh?
Almost same, 1 run less, and they did not allow South Africa in the game at all. Close लग रहा है, but they did so well initially in that first 10 overs by Travis Head and Mitchell Marsh.
Yeah.
That it was probably inevitable at one point of time. I know South Africa had also made some errors there in terms of captaincy. Bavuma's basic errors of bringing Keshav and others not in the time, and the rotation of the bowlers and all of that. Australia reaches to the final again. Another final for them. I think they are in their 8th final.
Eighth final. If
I remember right.
Eighth final. It's 8th final, yeah.
और टर्न अराउंड उनका एक और हुआ है कि they got in Travis Head. Okay. Who was not there initially in the first 2 games. So Saurabh, what do you think of South Australia?
I mean, drawing parallel 2003 is absolutely right. बिल्कुल same
This
लग
is
रहा है.
exactly like how India did it. India lost that first game against. India did not play very well. I think first game was Netherlands or something. एक बहुत ही एवरेज स्कोर करा था 200 for
209.
हाँ वही and they got it, they did not get it very nicely as well. बहुत लग रहा था कि ये क्या खेला है. And then the second game was Australia and they got out at 125.
Yeah.
And then Australia and then India did that whole bleed blue campaign and stormed, won the next 9 and then managed to reach the final. Yeah,
so almost similar parallel आप draw कर सकते हैं. India is as dominant as what Australia was in 2003. We just spoke about 2003 and 2007. Yes. So I think Australia is battle ready. They've gone through, couple of close matches. India, I don't know if they're going to be complacent, which I don't think so. They will be. मुझे बस एक चीज लग रहा है कि Australia is battle ready. They have gone through, 3 to 4, close matches. So maybe they are more prepared, mentally, than India. अगर वो एक आता है situation where, in Australia, anyways, mentally is, a very strong team. अगर finals में ऐसा situation आता है कि थोड़ा सा close game है, and considering Australia has, gone through multiple matches in the group stages where they had, those sort of scenarios. So Australia just might have an edge there. But जैसे इंडिया खेल रहे हैं मुझे लग नहीं रहा है कि for the first time, I don't recollect कभी ऐसा हुआ है. And if you just look at man to man marking India Australia
अभी हम उसके बारे में बात करेंगे. Yeah,
they're pretty good. लेकिन ऑस्ट्रेलिया की थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, and we can talk about it, in their squad. मुझे लगता है उनका मिडिल ऑर्डर थोड़ा वीक है. बॉलिंग मुझे कभी-कभी लगती है, it's not up to the mark. So लग रहा है कि last 7 matches, 8 matches, they've just, won on the trot. But there are quite a number of blemishes there. I mean, even the last semi-finals, South Africa was just 1 wicket behind every time. Else they were pretty much in the game. Afghanistan का game हो गया, New Zealand का game हो गया. I think New Zealand just needed 15 runs to win the match. तो बहुत सारे ऐसे matches रहे हैं. I think there have been factors which has led Australia to win, but there are a lot of blemishes in Australia's, road to finals. So
correct.
India,
there is a reason why they qualified third.
Matches.
There is a reason why they qualified third and not first, because they were not the number 1 team. But if you look at the rest of the teams outside India, they were the best of the rest.
True.
And I think
I agree there.
them beating South Africa basically ensured them that they would be above the rest because they lost to South Africa. आपने एक बहुत अच्छी इंपॉर्टेंट बात कही है सौरभ, which is if you look at the run to the final, they lost the first two, वो तो पता ही था, and they lost, but like एक पहले गेम में they lost defending it, second game they lost chasing, but then they won the next eight, or the next, the next eight, you can say, the next eight. They won first the third game by winning wickets, by chasing, then they won next three by defending, next four by defending, and then again they chased against the last three. तो एक वो बैलेंस आ गया उनमें भी, क्लोज गेम्स का प्रेशर उन्होंने सोकअप करा हुआ है. दे एक्चुअली शुड नॉट हैव वन अगेंस्ट अफगानिस्तान एट ऑल. न्यूजीलैंड गेम भी हारना ही चाहिए था, बोल सकते हैं एक इसमें. और साउथ अफ्रीका गेम वाज अ वेरी 99 वर्जन ऑफ इट. इट जस्ट वो साउथ अफ्रीका, बवुमा ने बहुत एरर्स करे हैं जो, सो इट ब्रिंग्स, आपने वो सही बात बोला है कि एक वो कॉन्फिडेंस आता है कि वी आर मेंट टू बी इन फाइनल्स हियर, वी कैन विन any position. And
True.
And I will end this segment and then we'll go to the teams here. The only thing I see about India is वो बोलते हैं ना law of averages, कि और you bound to have get one bad day, an off day at office, जो बोलते हैं फुटबॉल में कॉमन होता है. The best players in the world will not score a goal because I mean it's not every time you'll score it. I think ऑस्ट्रेलिया उस मामले में आपने जो बोला है बहुत सही बोला है कि prepared. And I think the South Africa winning again in Eden Gardens, a very crunch game, 3 wickets win हुआ है, will give them a lot of confidence getting into Ahmedabad. और एक और चीज गौर करने वाली बात है, they are not having any support. There's no Australian fans here. होंगे 1000-1500 मैक्सिमम, पॉसिबली 2000 आएंगे अभी शायद फाइनल्स के लिए, but it's predominantly going to be 95 to 98% Indian fans. I think it can be both positive and negative that they want to prove something against India, and this is something they're very good at. They're very, very good at. And I think India should not do the mistakes of 2003 and do some sledging, do some, aank marna and all that, because Australia will take that to the chin and give it back. You don't want that. You want to play your game for India. And so I think we'll end it with that.
And we drawing parallel to 2003 Australian cricket fans can draw parallel to 1999. Although I know that Pakistan was a superior side, but they lost couple of games against Bangladesh and
Australia
India.
Also had the same problem. उनको भी यही हुआ था ना. They lost against West Indies in that World Cup initially, and they also lost against South Africa in the group game in 99. So back-to-back losses हुआ है. ऐसा लग रहा था कि यार Australia is not coming, and then Australia came back. So
right.
they could look back at the whole Steve Walk's journey and say we could draw from inspiration from them, because road to final is बहुत similar है 99 World Cup के हिसाब से. And look what they did in Pakistan. Pakistan को dismantle कर दिया है. वो बहुत ही one-sided World Cup रहा है. और by the way 2003 final भी बहुत one-sided World Cup रहा है. So we could see a one-sided World Cup. I hope not. I hope it will be a good game, close game, but I think we rightly said it. Australia winning would be a shock. India start as a favorite.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the team. Let's just talk about what the squad looks like, what we think would be the strategy here. So India, I think, will go with the same 11. I don't see any concerns there. I think Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, Rahul, Surya Kumar Yadav, Jadeja, Shami, Yadav, Bumrah, and Siraj. I don't see India changing for finals. आपको क्या लगता है? Can Ashwin come back if there's a spinning track in Ahmedabad? Because Ahmedabad may get a spin. It's not a
so the initial feelers of the pitches is going to be a slow one, so which kind of favors India. You bought the point of Ashwin, and that's what was in my head. Ashwin, आपको मतलब मालूम होगा सब लोग को कि थोड़ा सा एक बैटल ऑफ हेड है अगेंस्ट ऑस्ट्रेलिया. तो अश्विन का जैसा रिकॉर्ड है ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ, and he did pretty well against Australia in Chennai,
In
right? I think
Chennai,
उन्होंने
exactly,
दो
exactly.
विकेटें भी ली थी. With the likes of Smith, with the likes of Travis Head, Warner, जो lefties हैं, you never know. I think it's a good option to have. I actually, अगर मुझे लग रहा है कि सिराज, if he would have performed very bad, हो सकता था कि अश्विन आ जाते, लेकिन I don't think so. India would want to tinker with their,
I don't think so.
this
India would
winning,
want to tinker.
with their winning squad of, I don't know from how many matches they've been winning, with this squad. I think almost 6 matches,
I think,
छह matches तो शमी ने खेले हैं. तो
हाँ,
तो तो मुझे नहीं लग रहा है कि वो चेंज करेंगे. ऑल्दो यू बी मेंटली प्रिपेयर्ड कि अश्विन खेल सकते हैं. अगेन पिच कैसी होगी देखना होगा, कितनी ज्यादा स्लो, कितना ज्यादा टर्न, कितना
and
ग्रिप
Ashwin
लेगी.
can
वी
bat,
डोंट नो.
huh? Ashwin also adds that batting credibility.
कैन बैट, कैन बैट, कैन बैट.
He's
आई
played
मीन
very well.
सी, आई
And
थिंक
Australia के साथ टेस्ट में करा हुआ है. He can play. He
the
can hit.
Indian team management of the past, let's say 6 महीना पहले या 3 महीने पहले, या let's say even before the World Cup, they always wanted to play safe क्योंकि उनको लगता था कि बैटिंग थोड़ी सी वीक है. उनका जो मिडिल ऑर्डर है, लोअर मिडिल ऑर्डर, वो जल्दी खत्म हो रहा है. एंड दैट्स द रीजन यू हैड लाइक्स ऑफ शार्दुल समटाइम्स कमिंग इन. You had Hardik Pandya, you have Ravindra Jadeja. Indian team management traditionally, historically, they want their batting to be as deep as possible, and hence they always played with 4 bowlers. This possibly in a very long time, I don't remember
Correct.
India is playing with pure 5 bowlers, which sometimes can work against you, क्योंकि अगर आपका एक बॉलर भी, एक या दो बॉलर का ऑफ डे रहा,
Correct.
it could be nightmares. And that's where Hardik Pandya brought the stability. वो थोड़ी
Correct.
बॉलिंग कर लेते हैं and what not. लेकिन इंडिया के साथ इस वर्ल्ड कप में ये हुआ है कि they haven't had an off day. I think एक दो बॉलर्स का
Although
कभी कभी हुआ है,
Siraj,
लेकिन
although Siraj has been hit. Siraj की इकोनॉमी साइज सबसे वीक है, सबसे
वीक है. लेकिन अरविंद, अगर
he
आप
picked
देखेंगे
wickets.
लेकिन अगर आप देखेंगे, लुक एट बोल्ट एंड साउदी इन द लास्ट मैच. दे बोल्ट वेंट फॉर 100. हारिस राउफ has gone for a lot of runs. Even the Mitchell Stark, I think there have been a couple of matches, has gone for plenty of runs.
Correct.
और इंडिया के बॉलर्स रन्स को जा रहे हैं, लेकिन 7-8 रन्स पर ओवर मैक्सिमम.
हाँ,
चलो,
I mean, so my point was कि Siraj relatively, when you compare him to
रिलेटिवली
Buumrah and
ट्रू,
Shami,
ट्रू,
I mean, if I
ट्रू,
had to
ट्रू.
rank them, he's the ones who's giving most runs of the three. But हाँ,
तो
मुझे लगता नहीं है कि इंडिया चेंज करेगा. But अगर पिच स्लो हुई है, I mean, if they bring in
वोंट
Ashwin
बी
in place
सरप्राइज्ड,
of Siraj, it's not a big
वोंट बी
surprise.
सरप्राइज्ड.
I think it'll be a surprise for this thing, but I think it'll also be a favor the Indian team. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि it's not a bad move, but मुझे लगता नहीं है कि इंडिया चेंज करेगा.
आई एक्चुअली विश कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया, मेरे हिसाब से ऑस्ट्रेलिया चाहेगा कि सिराज खेले. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि सिराज विकेटें नहीं लेंगे, लेकिन आई थिंक ऑस्ट्रेलिया ऑन
Actually,
एनी
Australia
गिवन
would
डे वुड
prefer Siraj over Ashwin. Actually,
प्रेफर
Arun,
सिराज.
they'll prefer
Prefer
Siraj.
Siraj. They would prefer batting against 3 seamers rather
Yeah,
than batting against four or three quality spinners. तो
yeah,
देखते हैं क्या होता है. आई
yeah.
थिंक
I
यही
think
एक
that
स्पॉट
yeah,
रहेगा.
yeah. यही एक मतलब एक अगर डिस्कशन हो सकता है अश्विन का ही होगा. And I think, and we don't need to talk about India because everyone else will be self-selected. They are
या
playing
ट्रू.
the best of their life. ऑस्ट्रेलिया में मुझे लगता है कि चेंजेस हो सकते हैं. दिस इज माय टेक ऑन दिस वन. आई थिंक वार्नर एंड ट्रैविस हेड हैज चेंज्ड द गेम फॉर ऑस्ट्रेलिया. एंड जब से आए हैं, he's been he's doing what रोहित शर्मा is doing for India. The attacking start, वो जो start दे रहे हैं. And then Warner, I think this is probably his last hurrah in India, last hurrah in World Cup. I mean, he's one of the legends of the game from an Australian standpoint. So I think these two will open just like it. Mitchell Marsh will be at 3. He's had a fantastic tournament, changed that game from Pakistan. I think he'll be at number 3. अब मुझे लग रहा है कि this is where I think changes will happen. I think Steven Smith will be number 4 because he's the guy who's giving it stability here. मुझे लगता है कि मार्कस टॉयनस को बुलाएंगे एज अपोज टू मार्नस लैबुशेन, जो साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ खेला है. एंड राइटली स्लो बिकॉज ही गेव दैट क्रिटिकल मिडिल ऑर्डर में बैलेंस. वो स्टेबिलिटी चाहिए था उस टाइम पे जब वो विकेट्स कर रहे थे. बट मुझे लगता नहीं है कि मार्नस लैबुशेन शायद फाइनल्स में खेलेंगे because they want Australia to attack India. And they would prefer Marcus Stoinis' attacking ability and his bowling capability, the wily old customer in terms of his medium pace. And then
Hmm.
obviously they it gives them an additional option for them. So that's my take कि शायद मार्नस को लिस्ट करेंगे and Marcus को बुलाएंगे. But otherwise, the rest of the squad looks self-selecting. Glenn Maxwell, Josh English would be the keepers. Played fantastic. Mitchell Stark, who always does well in finals. Remember 2015, the Brendan McCullum first game, first over. After McCullum had that fantastic tournament, Mitchell Stark
Hmm.
has that capability to wreck opening times. Josh Hazelwood, who wrecked India in the first game, and then Pat Cummins, the captain, and then Adam Zampa, who's probably their successful player, who bowler, who did not had a good time game against India in the Chennai game, but will probably want to redeem himself. मुझे लग रहा है कि this is my take on lineup of prediction. What do you think, Saurabh?
Huh, I think Manas Labuschagne and Marcus Stoinis, that's a battle, of the spot for Australia. I think apart from that, और मुझे कोई नहीं लग रहा है कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया में कुछ चेंज होगा. रिकी पॉन्टिंग प्रेफर्स फॉर सम रीजन मानस लाबुशेन. आई ऑलवेज वुड प्रेफर स्टॉइनिस, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है स्टीव स्मिथ और मानस लाबुशेन जब
The
बैटिंग करते
same.
हैं दोनों साथ, दे आर सेम. हालांकि मैंने देखा है मानस लाबुशेन को भी अटैक करते हुए, और स्टीव स्मिथ को भी देखा है, व्हिच आई डोंट नो फॉर सम रीजन ही इज नॉट प्लेइंग दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ गेम एनीमोर इन द शॉर्टर फॉर्मेट. लेकिन they are not threatening as a pair to the opposition, and I think
They're not.
opposition can just relax. Possibly चाहे इंडिया, मुझे लगता है कि चाहेगा कि स्टीव स्मिथ और मानस लाबुशेन
Actually, India will
बैटिंग
prefer
करते.
that, and then what they'll plan is, यार एक जब आ गए, let's roll Kullu and Jaddu and just
And I
get
think
into
it
it.
kind of puts pressure on the likes of Maxwell to just go berserk from the ball one, which
Correct.
possibly he does more often than not. लेकिन Maxwell has the game of, he has that game कि वो थोड़ा रुक के भी मार सकते हैं बाद में जाके, लेकिन it kind of puts pressure in their lower middle order. तो मेरे हिसाब से स्टॉनिस इज अ बेटर ऑप्शन. आई डोंट नो कि पॉटिंग का क्या थ्योरी है. आई थिंक ही फील्स कि लाबुशेन की फील्डिंग बहुत अच्छी है. दैट आई थिंक आई गिव इट टू. ही इज अ
Yeah, but
टेरिफिक
I
फील्डर.
mean, here's the thing, right? If
But
you
but you
Indian
but you
batting
would
is
want
so
to select
good, correct.
so
My
good,
take
yeah.
is if Indian batting is so good, you want to have an additional bowling option there. I mean, right now
Eh,
you're
eh,
looking
eh,
at Maxwell is the only spinner there, and then okay, Maxwell and Zampa, but एक bowler went for runs. They want to have that option apart from Mitchell Marsh, play that. And Marcus Stoinis is not a bad bowler. And he
true. And
knows IPL. He's played IPL. He knows the pitch. He knows the stadium.
and हाँ, और मेरे हिसाब से considering the kind of bowling India has, you need good attacking batsmen. I mean, आपके पास Steve Smith है, which I think is good enough, to play that,
Yeah,
maneuver around the
anchor
ball.
role. Yeah,
एक anchor role, तो एक आपके पास काफी है मुझे लगता है. लेकिन मानस लाबुशेन, doesn't give that sense, he's going to be threatening enough to the
yeah,
Indian bowlers. So मुझे लगता है वो
correct,
एक attacking option रखना चाहिए ऑस्ट्रेलिया को. So that's what I
correct,
feel.
correct. Yeah, so एक बार हेड टू हेड बात कर लेते हैं, just to give some stats here for the audience here. तो basically पिछले 5 गेम में actually they already met in Chennai. उससे पहले these guys played 3 games. Australia came to India as a warm up, बोल सकते हैं, warm up भी बोल सकते हैं, but yeah, 3 ODI series करा है, and then they played again. I mean, March में खेला था because they were already here for the tour. So India won 3 of them, Australia won 2 of them. They won in March, and then they won 1 game in that ODI thing. वर्ल्ड कप में अगर देखा जाए तो 13 बार मिल चुके हैं. सो इट्स वेरी अ वेरी
Wow.
marquee fixture on World Cup. And when I looked at 13 times, and I was like, wow, that's a lot. India won 5, Australia won 8, not surprisingly, because Australia historically have had a upper hand against the Battle of India, for many years. I mean, until now. um, India won in 1983. So अगर वो 5 गेम जो हुआ है 1983 में एक गेम जीता है, I think that's the one which after the couple they've en route to that final. They won in 87, one of the group games, not the first game. First game was a famous game, they lost by 1 run. 2011, we all know Yuvraj Singh, the famous Yuvraj Singh quarterfinals. And 2019, Shikhar Dhawan smashing it, giving it out in the World Cup in England. And then 2023 जो चेन्नई में हुआ था. Australia have memorable ones here. So they won in 83, one of the games in the group stage, one of the early games in the group stage. They won the first game, which was a marquee fixture in Chennai. Australia scoring 270 and winning it, India scoring 269. They won again in 1992. This time also was a one run. And I think it hampered India. अगर वो India जीती ना, India के World Cup qualification chances बहुत अच्छे होते for the semi-finals. And they lost it, and so we knew what happened with that, because India was a good team in 1992, but they just did not had a good luck to that. 1996 was a famous Tendulkar going 90, and then getting out in the Mark Waugh. Mark Waugh ने wide डाला and Tendulkar stump out हुआ, and Mark Waugh himself scoring the century there.
Century there, yeah.
And the Damien Fleming, and then India lost by 16 runs. Close game raha, but not so close if you look at it from the overall context. 99 mein they met again and they lost it.
One-sided.
2003, yeah, one-sided. 2003 they met twice, including the final.
One-sided.
Both time was one-sided. The first game India got all out in 125, and final में पता ही है सबको क्या हुआ, 359. And then 2015 semi-final, India was playing very well in 2015 as well. They destroyed India in the semi-final. 300 runs mara hai, and I think they won more than by 100 runs.
Yeah.
World Cup history देखा जाएगा. Australia won the World Cup 5 times: 87, 99, 2003, 2007, that era of early 2000s, and then they won the home one in 2015. And India won it two times: 1983, the famous win, and then the famous win of India in 2011. We already talked World Cup. They met once in the final already, so it's basically a repeat of 2003 final. 359 mara tha, or India got all out in 234. Not so close anymore. Finally, agar overall देखेंगे, they met 150 times, man, in the history of ODIs. It's a lot. Australia having the upper edge, 83 times they have won, and India winning 57 times.
Wow.
So
not surprising.
Yeah, not surprising. So we'll end it with this segment here with our predictions and player to watch. So I think predictions are pretty clear. India favorites will start as heavy favorites, deserves to win the World Cup with the performance. Possibly the only thing is pressure. I don't know. Can they repeat what 2011? I don't see any flaws in India. So I bad day at office. That's the only thing I can think of. But otherwise,
I think India और Indian cricket fans के लिए सबसे बड़ी चीज होगी रोहित शर्मा और विराट कोहली. I think if Australia is able to pick these two quickly, I know कि Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, they have batted well, Shubman Gill hai, and they can always score 100. लेकिन Indian batting का crux is in and around these two.
Yeah.
If Australia can take these two out, it could be Australia's game. लेकिन अगर you are looking at 10 overs, 70, 80 runs, at the worst for India. If India is batting first, it's curtains for it. It's curtains for Australia. I don't think so. Australia can come back. Also, considering the bowling that they have, I'm not saying it's a bad bowling. Like, I'm just doing a man to man, and the kind of bowling that Australia has, I somehow just feel it suits India, and that's possibly one of the reasons India has been doing relatively well against Australia lately, be it in home or be it away while they're playing the test matches in Australia. So whatever the format is, I'll give it to India. And by considerable margin, मैं बोलूँगा 80-20 in favor of India. I don't know what's your proportion. लेकिन
I
India
would say
is
80-20 is probably a fair one. I mean, India is heavy favorites to win this.
heavy. I mean, when we started our record, video, आपने बोला it will be an upset.
It'll be a
will
shock.
be an upset.
It'll be a shock if India loses this.
लेकिन on the contrary, Arvind, I mean, would it be shock that Australia is the team who defeats India? Again, no. लेकिन जैसी cricket खेल रहा है India, it would be a shock.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The way they have performed, it'll be a shock. But Australia is a championship winning team. They know how to win World Cups.
True.
They have been very good at it. So I think it's really, really good context here. क्या लगता है आपको? Win the toss and bat first, right? It's probably the play.
I think it's going to be that. I think win the toss, bat first, put the runs on the board.
You don't want to be chasing.
Yeah.
Pressure game.
I don't know कि अहमदाबाद में due हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. I don't know that. लेकिन I think.
Yeah, but I think the pitch will crumble. I don't know if they're. I mean, that's the whole controversy. जो पिछले game होता है. Will they use a fresh pitch or a used pitch? All that stuff.
और
pitch crumble हो गया तो they will they will want spinners to play in the
and
on the play.
Australia always have the philosophy, and this goes back to Mark Taylor days. Win the toss, you always bat first.
Yeah.
Even in the test match, unless the conditions are way too overcast,
Which
if
is
you're
not
playing
going
in
to
England
happen.
or Australia,
Yeah.
which is not going to happen. They always bat first. So
And I
Australia is
think
going to
India
bat
will
first.
remember that whole thing of Ganguly making that mistake in 2003. He won the toss and he put Australia into bat. I don't think Rohit Sharma will do that mistake. So I think toss is crucial. Both will want to bat first.
लेकिन मैं पता है एक और चीज बोलूंगा अरविंद आई थिंक इंडिया इज so much of a favorite. I don't think so. It really matters. Should really matter to India. I know toss is crucial.
Toss is
It
crucial
should
for
really
Australia, is what
matter.
I'm saying. May not be
Yeah,
crucial for
yeah.
India.
For
India will
India.
not want
So
to repeat it. They'll not go out of the way and say कि हम chase करेंगे. I think they'll win the
yeah,
toss and they'll bat first. But even if
bat
they
first.
lose the toss, I don't think it's going to be a problem for them, as you rightly said. But I think Australia के लिए वो problem होगा कि they don't want to be chasing on India against that pressure.
True,
Because उनके
true,
लिए कोई
true,
support भी नहीं है. No, it's like a
true,
वो gladiator वाला stadium होगा where everyone is only cheering to kill you.
true, true, true.
And हमने पिछले वीडियो में बात करा था लेजर सेरेमनी एंड ऑल होने वाला है उस टाइम पे दे डोंट वांट टू बी इन दैट पोजीशन की प्रेशर गेम में दे आर स्टक इनटू दैट चेजिंग एंड ट्राई टू सी ऑल दिस लेजर सेरेमनी ऑन दैट स्टफ आई थिंक they will want to bat first there. So but I still think yeah, I think India is gonna win this. Having any shocker, I think that should be the result there. Let's end this segment. I know काफी लंबा हो गया, but I mean final है, deserve करता है एक अच्छा रिव्यू करने का. Player to watch and possible man of the match prediction.
Rohit Sharma. I'll go for Rohit Sharma. I've been going for him for. I mean, हमने जब भी
I have a
ये किया है
feeling
ऐसे
Rohit
सब
Sharma will come big this one.
come big. He's played well. He scored
He's
a lot
played
of
well. I
runs.
think
लेकिन I think
he's
yeah,
due a big one, and I think if you look at it, captains have historically done well in the World Cup finals. Not every time, but like Ricky Ponting in 2003, Ben Stokes in 2019.
Ranatunga in 96. I
Tunga,
think
but
Ranatunga
final
last
Arvinder
में
De
आए थे.
Silva won the
Arvinder De Silva के ने मारा था.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni in 2011.
Yeah, that's the one. That's
Kapil Dev in 1983. Although I know Mohinder Amarnath won the final. Historically, I mean, you could look at it from the teams of India and Australia. Ricky Ponting and Dhoni were the two examples who won the World Cup and they were captains. And the last time the captain was Ben Stokes. Oh no, sorry, not Ben Stokes, Ian Morgan. But Ben Stokes was a thing. But I think if I look at it, the answer is मुझे लगता है कि कैप्टन वाला नॉक हो सकता है रोहित शर्मा से. I agree with you.
Yeah, for me it's Rohit Sharma from India, and अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया की बात करेंगे अरविंद, I think it's going to be David Warner. It's going to be last hurrah for him.
Last hurrah for him.
You rightly said he is one of the greats. I know Indian cricket fans शायद recognize कर गए, शायद करेंगे भी considering the kind of popularity that he has in India. तो मुझे लगता है कि it could be David Warner's game. और ऑस्ट्रेलिया चाहेगी कि डेविड वार्नर, I don't know for century.
And they want Travis Head to knock well. He hasn't played the first game. Would be a big X factor.
I'm waiting for that. I think I mean, I know we are
on the flip side, Shami is the X factor. He did not play the game against Australia. Australia doesn't know him.
I'll be very surprised if Australia loses wickets to seamers. I will be very, very surprised. I mean, agar ye hua, then you got to give it to the Indian seamers for sure. Lekin the battle is Marsh, Warner, Head. Yeah. These three players versus the Indian attack. Spinners and
versus the Indian attack. Spinners, especially Jadeja and Kuldeep.
True.
I am waiting for this one. I think this is going to be a cracker of a game. I hope it's not one-sided. I mean, yeah. I also don't hope it's become like 2019 ki bhaiya no tie ho. No, I want a good winner. I want a clean winner. But I don't want it to be a repeat of 2003 or a 99 or a 2007.
And let's be honest, Arvind, agar one-sided hua, it's going to be in favor of India. I don't see one-sided in favor of Australia.
Oh yeah, that's
also,
probably true.
Considering the conditions.
Considering the conditions. Absolutely. Yeah. So I think we'll end it here. Looking forward for this game. I'll be getting up at 2:30. Surprisingly, not surprisingly. अच्छी बात है कि मेरे लिए weekend है, so I should be able to, get up and on a early Sunday morning. Yeah,
True.
let's see how this goes. Looking forward for it. So, yeah, we'll wrap it up here. So,
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
again later. Thank you everyone for watching. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. We will talk again later. Bye bye.